Greetings and welcome to City of Destiny, a part of the Untold Stories Project. I am your host and game master, Aaron. This is our actual play of the Emerald City Knights Adventure series for Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG from Green Ronin Publishing. And we totally don't say that just because we have friends and members of the network who work for Green Ronin. Mutants and Masterminds is a D20 based system which allows players and game masters to create stories featuring all of the greatest heroes of their imagination. I love Mutants and Masterminds for any number of reasons, not least of which is its inclusion of hero points. Because hero points are that little extra special something that let heroes do cool things like edit a scene or recover from a dangerous condition or re-roll a die or use their powers in new and creative ways. Our heroes each start with 1 hero point, and they can get additional hero points for good role-playing, funny jokes, clever decisions, from me using their weaknesses against them, and from your generosity. That's right. If you subscribe, renew a subscription, or donate bits to our stream, you will generate a hero point that can be given to the hero or game master of your choice. We are a small but growing little network. All of those follows, subscribes, and likes really help keep us visible and growing and help pay our bills. Now, let's meet the heroes that we have assembled for tonight. We are down 1 because she had family obligations, but say hello, heroes.
Hello, heroes.
Hello, heroes.
Hey.
Heroes, let's go ahead, have you introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, who you are playing tonight, something interesting about them, and answer our question of the week, which is, tell us your character's favorite birthday memory and when their birthday is. Part of the reason that I have made that the question of the week is Howard, our dear departed former cast member. Today would be his birthday, and I wanted to raise a virtual glass to remember him. So we will kick it off with Alex. What is Ethan's best birthday memory?
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, and as mentioned, I am playing Ethan Blackwell, aka Crucible, aka the middle school dance chaperone of magnetism. I am here with the little ruler to make room for Jesus for the kids. I'm a ferrokinetic college student from Emerald City who's very excited to be on the side of justice again. As for the question of the day, Ethan's birthday is on June 15th, and his favorite birthday memory has to be the one birthday that wasn't blown out of proportion by his parents. Usually he was given big birthday parties with like clowns and rented bounce castles and stuff, but one year a bunch of stuff fell through and they were on the road, and his dad wasn't there for his birthday, so they got to do a really simple just dinner at a pizza place like Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese. And he had a really nice time.
Bouncy house for your birthday. How awful.
It doesn't matter if you have money if you don't have any friends.
Yeah, you can buy them.
And I'll pass that over to Wiki.
Hi, I'm Wiki, and I play Professor Cephalopod, who is a giant Pacific octopus in a mech suit. We don't know when the octopus was born, but Cyrus was born on March 15th.
Beware.
And yes, I'm aware that makes him a Pisces. No, that was not intentional.
How does he feel about knives?
You'll find out. His actual favorite birthday related memories don't actually have anything to do with his birthday. His favorite birthday related memories are actually the birth of his children. But to not cheat, his favorite 2 birthday memories would be the last birthday he had while his father was alive, and the first birthday he spent with Carol. And normally I'd pass it down to Joe, but instead I will pass it down and over to Aunt Puppy.
That's me. So I'm Aunt Puppy. I play Keone. She is the ice queen of the group. both literally and figuratively. Her birthday, so she's 22 and her birthday is December 21st because it was the winter solstice. And the exact opposite of Ethan's favorite birthday memory, Keone's favorite birthday memory is when her parents went all out for her birthday and got her a princess performer to come dressed as her favorite character when she was a kid, and they did all sorts of party things and stuff like that. So she was a big fan of her parents getting, you know, the one big birthday of going kind of all out, which she doesn't. They normally would do Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster's or something simple, but she got 1 year where they went all out. And
Answer honestly, because she's potentially young enough. Was the Princess Elsa?
No. It was not Elsa.
Hey, thank you, Alex, for subscribing. And your hero point is to go to Keone.
Yeah, I feel like Keone is gonna need it.
Yeah, especially since she doesn't trust you anymore. And then I will pass it to Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I am playing Portal, Human Transport Solutions. And for Peter's best birthday memory, he did have a lot of good memories of birthdays before his parents kicked him out of the house, but that whole thing kind of tainted all the memories of his family. So if he were to really think about it, his favorite birthday would probably be his first birthday at the Claremont Academy. That they threw him a little bit of a surprise party that he wasn't expecting, and it wasn't anything too fancy, but it was just an expression that people around him cared about him, and that really hit him hard, and he's really carried with him for the several years since. As for when his birthday is, I mean, it's Peter, so of course it's got to be June 9th. And I will pass it up to Aaron.
All right. So when last we saw our heroes, they were, well, our last episode started with our heroes on a research platform that was in the middle of collapsing. While they were still trying to deal with Stormer supervillains who had apparently been mind controlled. And they were trying to wrap their brain around the giant alien craft that emerged from the ocean, which was the reason that the research platform was sinking. With the assistance of and assisting brand management, our heroes managed to prevent anyone from drowning, go you, captured the rubber bandit, took the no longer mind controlled and not yet accused of any criminal acts that they could be held responsible for Stormers, including Chain, Tenfold, Singularity, and Epiphany Jones back to the Emerald Tower. And they began to investigate, well, everything.
I have a quick question.
What?
Is the rubber bandit related to the wet bandits?
No. They determined that it is possible to create a feedback device to disrupt the commander's remote control of the Stormers. They had not created the device just yet. They also found out a little bit more about the details of when the commander controls people, what it's like, what kind of experience it is for the people being controlled. They looked for some evidence about the alien craft. They had some personal drama moments involving Ethan's stepmother.
Before she ran off to go do supervillain stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about. And when last we saw our heroes, almost half of them were on the roof of Emerald Tower as Ethan was trying to go full Magneto and stretch his magnetic abilities to their limit to find the alien craft. Carol had been spying on him, but has slipped away. And Keone was up there looking for a moment of quiet, and then suddenly saw her not exactly boyfriend, but not exactly not boyfriend, going full Magneto. So let's pick up right there, shall we?
I will kind of collapse to the roof and pant and just punch the ceiling? Punch the ground because I couldn't find what I was looking for.
I mean, technically, I guess that is punching the ceiling. It's just
It's on the other side.
from the other direction, yeah.
From a certain point of view.
Fiona
And what's Cindy doing?
she's just hiding and making notes and trying to figure out if she should go talk to him or not. But what she does do is awkwardly try to go to the door, which we've already been told is still locked, correct? Because we still have the security system going.
But only
Just
for
to
Ethan,
Ethan.
not for us.
Okay. Because all I can see is her like trying to open it without like Ethan knowing, and then like just making a fucking racket. Just giving your location.
Fiona can get through it, but Seth's been kind of busy and forgot that he still has Ethan locked out of the building.
Okay.
So
Locked out of the building.
Poor God.
Either way, Keone is attempting to open the door and is making a lot of noise, but doesn't realize she's making a lot of noise, and then trips in the doorway. So she just kind of tumbles into the because she's also still a little hungover, a little exhausted, a lot of shit going on. She just saw her boyfriend, not boyfriends, you know, what to her looks like, you know, some super villainy shit. So she's a little bit of a mess right now.
Ethan will look over at the noise and see her trying to sneak away and just turn back and look despondent about it.
Aw.
That's what she does.
You don't have to sneak away, you can just leave if that's what you want.
I was just gonna go make some food and I tripped. So, do you want anything to eat?
No, I want to find that orb that took over my mind and is threatening the whole planet.
Is that what you were doing?
Trying to, but it's not on Earth. Or at least not at surface level. It might be underground. I don't know.
Does your Ethan tingle not work underwater?
I don't know how deep it goes.
That's what she said.
I need to get answers to this.
Okay, so he's grumpy. So she was trying to make a joke and it didn't work. Well, I'm gonna go to the kitchen and make cupcakes? Cookies.
Do what you need to. And Ethan will get up and fly off, heading in the direction of his mother's business.
Okay.
rude.
Now she definitely thinks he's a supervillain. I stuck the straw in my nose.
Don't do that.
All right. So Ethan's flying off.
And we haven't met his mom yet, so I gotta remember where she works.
It's been a bit since we've even talked about her, hasn't it?
It has. Dr. Vanessa Barnes Blackwell works at Morgenstern Labs.
Gotcha.
A lot of doctors in this one.
And then you have two idiots.
Yep.
Okay, so you're flying off that way. Like I say, it's getting into evening because I know that there was talk about people getting a good night's sleep after all the shit that had happened. It's not late by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, certainly been a day. What is Professor Cephalopod up to?
Waiting for Max to get his ass up here.
Oh, right. You had called Max. Okay. Yeah, so Max will come up and head to your lab.
He was going to meet me in the computer lab with
Okay.
Overwatch.
Okay.
So Seth will pick up the laptop that he found inside the platform.
Uh-huh.
And meet them in the computer lab. And he will just open it and, get to that underlying code and push it towards Max.
All right. I'm sure I could analyze this, but why don't you tell me what I'm looking at?
If I knew, I would tell you.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain it's extraterrestrial, so I'm fairly certain it might be familiar to you. And then I will also play back the recording that Seth took of the giant eyeball spaceship.
Oh wait, if it's alien code, can't we just use a mid-90s Mac to work with it?
This came up out of the ocean while we were trying to apprehend the mind-controlled super beings. And this was in the platform that was definitely not being used for anything.
What does Brand know?
You mean brand management?
Yeah.
More than they're telling. But they came and took their people and left.
So Max sits down and starts tapping away at the laptop. Well, you're right that it's familiar. But I don't know what exactly it was meant to be doing. I was never able to actually decipher any of the software.
So when I look at it, does it look like regular code? Or does it look like a language?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
A little bit of both.
Looks like the Matrix.
All right. You had traced something from Redshift back to the platform, right?
Yes. It was the signal. Okay, this is me trying to remember, not Seth.
Right.
It was the signal from. We were able to like backtrace the signal from Singularity.
No, it was the computer glitch that caused the canister of nanites to be stored at Redshift.
Came from there.
Came from the platform.
Okay. So Seth will say that.
And then that thing came out of the ocean.
From deep within the ocean. And when I went down there, it was clear that it had been there for quite some time. I have samples to study, to send off to a geologist to maybe find out exactly how long.
But we're talking long enough that a geologist would be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you think that this orb is connected to the commander who's been controlling the stormers?
That I don't know. I believe my teammates are assuming such, but I don't know that we have any actual evidence at this point. The two are connected, except for the code and the signal, and the tampering of Redshift's systems.
All right. What else have you managed to find out?
I don't think we've found anything else that we haven't, that Seth hasn't already told him about.
Have you told him about creating a jammer?
No. It's possible that we can create a feedback loop or a jammer of some type using the nanites to give a feedback loop to the commander when they are trying to control other nanites. That's something I need to work on.
Okay. What can I do to help you?
Decipher that.
I've only been trying to decipher it for 30 years, but sure.
Well,
You got 30 more minutes.
I am somewhat of a linguist. Maybe we can look at this together.
Maybe. Although, if you've got any insight into that feedback device, that might take higher priority. We don't want any other stormers being controlled by the commander or this orb or whoever is doing it.
I have created a, seems to work so far, workaround of my own. For those who wish to use it, I have a nanite injection that should block those signals.
Useful. But as you said, it's an injection. Feedback device, you might be able to broadcast with a powerful enough signal to blanket the city, as opposed to trying to find every stormer in Emerald City and forcing them to take an injection of tiny robots.
Well, I would not be amenable to forcing my technology on anyone. So
I was being facetious. I assumed as much. If I thought you were the type who would force people to take the injection, well, if I thought that, you wouldn't be inside my building right now.
fair enough.
All right, I will see what I can come up with. By the way, you should know that Miss Blackwell seems to have kidnapped your wife.
I'm sorry, what?
Not literally. She saw her coming down from the roof and decided that the two of them needed that Dr. Irons needed to be taught what it was like to be a woman out on the town in Emerald City in 2022.
So a ladies' night, I believe is what the children call it.
Yes. And while I realize that Carol is able to lift and throw a truck, she seemed quite unable to resist the force of nature that is Miss Blackwell.
Well, she has been stuck in here with us for a week.
Fair.
So, you know, after being stuck in what sounds like hell for a decade. So I'm sure she'll be fine.
All right. Let's cut over to Peter and or Tommy. No, Tommy's over with Max and Seth. What's
I
Peter
would
doing?
imagine when Tommy got the call, Peter was like, all right, I guess I will play video games with the kid.
All right. We got to keep Singularity from
Killing people.
being an idiot.
It's like, and with even less self-control.
It's true. It's in his complications. That's just what it
Exactly.
says. Lesser Ethan.
Of course, Singularity will proceed to just wipe the floor with Peter, who doesn't really play video games.
Which, you know, is a pleasant change for him because Tommy was kicking his ass 6 ways till Sunday.
Yep, that tracks.
All right. And what is Kiana doing after she comes down from the roof after watching Ethan go full Magneto?
So since baking is her therapy for now, she is going to be essentially having an external dialogue with herself while baking. So she's just having like a full conversation, like asking and answering her own questions, you know. She's like
boob pancakes as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, so she's just basically just baking shit. Like,
how observant is she while this is going on?
Do what?
How observant is she?
Not at all.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, she's like pulling stuff from the cabinet. She's like, yeah, but like if Ethan was doing that, I mean, we think he's better. Like, she's having like a conversation. Oh, I need sugar too. Like that's the amount of like focus she has. It's very, very all over the place.
Okay.
So people walking by, like none of it. She's not noticing any of it.
So then she probably doesn't notice
Oh no.
Tiffany Jones sitting at the kitchen table journaling.
Absolutely not. Probably didn't even notice her when she walked in. Like,
Okay.
she probably just like walked past her and started doing shit. Like, had no idea she was sitting there.
That's funny because Ethan also didn't notice you were on the roof when he was doing Magneto shit.
True.
Ships passing in the night.
All right. Well, then let's pick back up with Ethan.
Yeah, I'm texting my mom trying to find her, wherever she is in town.
Okay, so like I said, it's getting into evening.
Also, Star Slayer has redeemed a hydrate, so hydrate before you dihydrate. In honor of Carol, who's not here.
In honor of Carol, who is not here. All right, so you text your mom, and she's, you know, that you get a text back that says, "Driving home, honey. What can I do for you?"
Do you still know anybody in Astro Labs?
You are left on red for several minutes. Why?
Where are you right now? We need to meet.
Beep beep, trauma bus.
on the outer belt, about 2 exits away from home.
I'll meet you at the house.
Okay.
And I will fly to the house.
You
Beat
can
her
definitely
to the house.
you can easily beat her there.
Yeah. If I can guess where she's going to be between when I get in the area and the house, I'll try to land near where she is.
I mean, you've got magnetic senses with acute and accurate. Yeah, you can probably, as you're flying, since you're certainly faster than a car, you're able to see her car driving, off the freeway, going through the subdivisions to come over to her home. Her house is a much more modest affair, out in the suburbs, not up on Sunset Hill.
I'll sort of pensively hang in the air until she parks her car in the driveway.
Okay.
And when she gets out, I'll land.
Right in front of her.
Okay. Crucible, is there something wrong? Can I help you with something?
I'm just going to weep openly and give her a hug.
I'm
My heart, it breaks.
sorry. What's wrong?
I messed up, Mom.
Boom!
Ethan?
I will let the
And
mask
she-
unmagnetize from my face.
Huh?
I'll let the mask unmagnetize from my face.
Okay. Come inside. And she brings you into the house, sits you down on the sofa, goes into the kitchen. A few minutes later, comes back with 2 cups of Keurig-made hot cocoa with whipped cream.
I'm still ugly crying.
I
She
know.
comes in the room.
You may not notice, but the audience would see that in addition to the cocoa and whipped cream, she pours a hefty shot of whipped cream flavor vodka into her mug.
It's mostly vodka.
No, but it's a healthy enough shot. And then she sits down next to you, wraps her arms around you, and says, "Start at the beginning."
And I will go through the last couple of months worth of me being a superhero and get up to the point where I made a mistake and got mind controlled by an alien god, probably. And I don't know what I did, but I messed up and I need to find it. And I need a spacesuit.
Sip. Bigger sip. There's a lot to unpack there. Can I ask you a few questions, sweetie, before I try to help you find a spacesuit?
Yeah. And I snapped at the girl I like. But that's a different conversation.
That is a different conversation, but I kind of think I think it might have more to do with your current mindset than you're willing to admit. First, do you know that it was the alien god that controlled your mind?
No, but it can't be a coincidence that it sent us to this place, this oil rig, to cause trouble, and then it rose out of the ocean at the same place it sent us.
can't it?
I mean, it can, but
I mean, from what you told me, it sounds like it wasn't happy that there were a number of superpowered beings fighting above where it was hiding.
but I don't know. I think that might just be because it lost control of me and some of the others, and when it woke up, the rest of us snapped out of whatever was going on. And now it isn't anywhere on Earth, as far as I can feel.
Okay.
And I really
I get-
messed up, and I need to fix it for the other Stormbreakers.
Or you could have them help you.
That's just crazy talk.
I'm the one that messed up. I can't ask them to do that. I need to prove that I'm worthy to be on the team, and that I...
Honey, from what you've said, you shook a mountain full of werewolves.
That was so crazy.
Helped stop a vampire from eating the entire city. And that's only a small part of the amazing things that I've seen you do over the past 3 months. You're definitely worthy of being a part of the team. And they wouldn't want you as part of the team if... I don't think they expect you to be perfect. They're not your father.
Weep, 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 weep.
Ooh.
You don't know how she looked at me, Mom.
Mom put some stank on that advice.
She looked at me like I was a supervillain. And I was. I don't even know what I did.
There were others who were being controlled, right?
Yeah, but
Have you thought about talking with them? Maybe get some support from people who have been through the same thing that you have?
I'm supposed to be better than that.
Why?
Because I'm a Stormbreaker, and I'm the only Stormer on the team, and I can't explain it, Mom. I don't know.
I can explain it, but
Can I spend a hero point so that Ethan accidentally left his comm on?
no. I can explain it. You are internalizing everything that your father ever told you. He was never happy with who you were. He wanted you to be who he wanted you to be.
I don't know how to fix that.
Let people in. I've always loved you for being you. Not because you were perfect, not because you were a role model to others, not because of your amazing powers, but I've loved you for being you.
Also, lots and lots of therapy.
It sounds like you have friends, and maybe even people who you love on this team. You have people who have been through similar or equally traumatic, if different, things on this team. Let them in. Don't try to solve everything yourself.
I don't know if Ethan is cogent enough to have a response to that other than to just break down and just promise that he'll try.
So you're saying even uglier crying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, Otter, she used the love word. She's his mom. She's allowed.
Can I stay here tonight and in the morning go back and try to get their help?
Of course.
I really do think I'm going to need a spacesuit, though.
Can I spend a hero point that there's a thunderstorm and he crawls into his mom's bed?
I'm too old for that.
Are you though?
Yes. Also, Augur resubscribed. Thank you so much. He nominated putting a hero point on the table, but he votes for everyone getting a hero point, even the GM, in honor of Howard's birthday, which I think is a cool enough idea that, yes, everyone will get a hero point.
Huzzah! I will text Cindy before I go to bed at my mom's house and say I'm sorry. I want to talk about it, but I feel like I messed up. And I'm not a supervillain.
It's just what a supervillain would say.
Oh man, Cindy, he's breaking up with you. I'm sorry.
No, Keone leaves him on red. Like she.
Oh.
Both intentionally and unintentionally. She had an answer in her head and never actually wrote it down and thought she answered and just ignored it.
Ethan's gonna go have an existential meltdown about that.
Yep.
She left
That's
me on
the
red?
reason he calls into his mom's bed at night.
Well, at least she didn't text back K.
Fair.
Okay,
All right.
Lowercase k with a period.
Yep.
So unless anyone has anything crazy they plan to do, I'm assuming then everyone has a relatively, maybe not restful, probably restless, but quiet night.
I'm just in my lab doing my lab stuff, occasionally napping,
Right.
unintentionally napping while
Keone has made a wedding cake, macarons, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies, raisin cookies, a 2-tiered cake, a lemon bars, and a bundt cake.
Peter has got hit, like there's like the little like weird like kind of family dynamic happening all of a sudden with the two dads and the son, depending on how free Overwatch is and how much of his time Professor C is demanding.
It seemed like you wanted that Overwatch was being taken to talk to Max about the code, but that
and maybe offer some kind of help if he can, but I don't need him after that.
yeah.
Like this, like like kind of like gay uncles kind of thing going on, and
Max is gonna take the laptop back to his private lab, which is so yeah, no, Tommy would be back with you pretty quickly. Keone probably may or may not notice that at some point Epiphany takes the plate of cookies and is just munching on cookies while she's journaling.
Yeah, so Keone is going through while she's doing all of this. She is unaware. I mean, she like notices that Epiphany is there, but it's like that like, oh, here, try this, like, but doesn't realize who it is that she's talking to.
Uh-huh.
And with that, she's getting down to making she's got, pulling ingredients together, and she goes to pull down the sugar and it's empty. And for whatever reason, that is her moment of clarity. And she loses it and just starts sobbing and runs away. And like, doesn't say anything, just starts crying and runs away.
And he just kind of looks at that.
It's like, and then she just runs.
Epiphany just kind of looks at that and grabs another cookie.
I love once again. So, how opposite the lives of Keone and Portal are. There was Thanksgiving, and now she's a sobbing mess, and Peter's having a lovely little cute time.
If you guys look around for the other Stormers, Shane is in one of the two TV rooms with a bottle of something very expensive, mostly empty in her hand, and passed out on the couch.
That's a whole
Tenfold helped himself to one of the guest rooms and is in there sleeping. And Singularity probably would have stayed in the other TV room playing video games after Tommy and Peter went off to do their thing.
He means we're going to do it.
Probably, yes. So, all right. So morning comes. Fairly early in the morning, Tenfold will come back up to the lab and ask, just kind of, knocks on the door to Professor Cephalopod's lab and says, so have we made progress with the feedback device?
I don't know. Have we made progress with the feedback device?
If it is something that you have wanted to be working on overnight?
Yeah, that has moved up to top priority for him. So
okay. Then yeah, you're pretty sure you've got, well, give me a technology or expertise science check.
that is a 35.
Yeah. You are more than capable of both designing and building the feedback device overnight.
Cool.
Yay, inventor advantage. Well, then he'll say, should we do it now? Should we gather the others?
Seth will move some stuff so he can actually see what time it is. He's got a little, digital clock somewhere on his workbench.
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Perfectly reasonable time to, wake everyone
up. Everyone with a comm device will get an alarm. That's just basically Seth's voice. Get up. Get up. Get up. And then occasionally interspersed with like a really annoying, like high-pitched whine.
This is actually precisely why Portal takes out his comm and just sets it on his dresser every night, because it ends up being just loud enough that he can't hear it in the morning.
Oh, it's definitely loud enough that you can still hear it, even if it's not in your ear.
Yeah. What time did you say you did this at?
Around 8-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
Keone, he fails to underestimate. He underestimates how much Keone doesn't pay attention to shit.
and
Not wake up.
it will the message will also include meet me on the roof. So I'll do that, and Tenfold and I will go around and knock on the doors for the other stormers
Okay.
to gather them, because they don't have I don't, yeah, and it's just my teammates I want to annoy.
That's so
Yeah.
unlike you.
So yeah, you will find both
Yeah.
Chain and Singularity are, well, like I said, respectively passed out in different TV rooms. Chain is still drunk.
Of course.
Singularity is just, teenager. And Epiphany Jones will also would have let herself into a bedroom shortly after Keone ran out of the kitchen.
Like an empty plate over on her nightstand.
Oh yeah,
because she definitely took those cookies with her.
Absolutely. But you're able to gather everyone up amongst the stormers with varying degrees of complaint.
So by around 9, we're all up on the roof with the device. Steph has sent kids off to school. He knows how this works.
Right. Do you want Max to be there?
Yeah, I would probably have put a call into Max.
Okay. You'll also get a phone call from Riley. That will be patched through to your communicator by Roberta.
Who's she calling?
You.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Yeah, so the thing in Carol's ear was buzzing.
Yes.
I don't think Carol's gonna wake up anytime soon, and when she does, I'm going to take her out to breakfast. Do you absolutely need her right now?
I don't think so. Is she okay?
She's fine.
Then yeah, I don't think so. It's fine.
Okay. I'll bring her back sometime this afternoon.
Steph is just
Carol is shacking up with Ethan's mom.
Oh no!
Oh
no!
Nodding. Seth is just octopus nodding, and then he remembers that he's on the comms and goes, "That's fine."
Okay.
Murder mom and Ethan's mom.
Bye. So awkward phone call.
If you do a trace to see where Carol's comm is right now.
Oh, definitely.
It is located at the Hilton near Emerald Yellow Brick Road.
Okay. Okay. Oh, we're not going to think too hard about that right now.
Ethan has 2 mommies.
Danger.
Danger. We've got more
pressing issues.
There are other things. Got higher priorities to worry about than what my not wife is doing.
Ethan, does this make Professor C your stepdad now?
Maybe? That's complicated.
Why do you assume that they were hooking up?
Because it's Peter.
I mean,
everybody's hooking up all the time.
I'm assuming that was a prank call.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, this is entirely out of character.
Cool. So on the roof.
Ethan will wake up and come to be on the roof as well.
Okay. So it's all the PCs except for Carol, plus Max, plus the Stormers.
Yep, I'm sure this will be fine.
Okay.
Yes. The building isn't gonna like explode and collapse on us or anything. I'm sure it's fine.
Professor, I did run a scan. The object is no longer on Earth, best I can tell.
Interesting. Well, I'll file that in my mind space for later. Um, so I will use tenfold to do this,
Okay.
and I will tell him I am not certain how this is going to affect you. So, and then my tentacles will wrap around him to like hold him up, just in case.
What Professor C? What are you doing?
We are attempting to break the commander.
Break?
At least their ability to control.
You're not going to break tenfold, are you?
As I said, I don't know. There's not a way to test this.
Maybe I should go instead of him.
The last time you were controlled, you tried to
We just
murder.
this.
The last time we discussed this. The last time you were controlled, you tried to murder a 14-year-old boy.
Ethan will look down inside his mask and not react.
I'm going to reach over to Ethan and say, in fairness, the last time that tenfold was controlled, he tried to kill me.
Point in fact, it was his friend.
It's not you.
Of the people who have been affected by the storm who are presently on the roof, my powers are such that I am the easiest one to restrain if the commander should try to recontrol me.
See?
You also have already taken the nanites.
I will sort of give a guilty look to a singular routine and step back.
Do it.
Seth will sort of turn to Max slightly and go, "Are we ready?"
Ready as we'll ever be, I suppose.
I'm going to ready my redirecting warp.
And I will push the button.
Okay.
Button. Wrong button.
Why do we even have that button?
It hurts.
I would be monitoring his vitals. Are they essentially, if they get too erratic, I will discontinue the procedure.
Okay.
What are his nanites doing?
So go ahead and give me a perception, or if you have an appropriate expertise, I'll allow that in place.
What am I? It's hard to tell.
Well, I'm talking about for Ethan right now.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to spend a hero point because that's not even my routine check.
That is not. Wow, your perception's high.
Yeah, I've got skill mastery in it, so it could take a 24, but I will take a 28 instead.
Okay. So, the device that Professor C has created looks like it is intended to agitate the nanites and set up a feedback loop to the source of the controlling signal. The nanites seem to be noticing that they're being poked and prodded and are
mad.
They are causing the shocks that are currently coursing it through Tenfold's body.
This is a
It's not.
This is a nanite-based reaction, Professor.
I'm aware.
Professor C, treatment or expertise science?
Let's see. I have robotics specifically.
Okay.
It's not much higher than my treatment, but I don't know if that works.
I think you're mostly your main. You said you were trying to monitor Tenfold's vitals.
Yeah, his vital signs.
So then, yeah, probably
Treatment.
Probably treatment.
I do have biology.
Or biology.
Biology.
If biology is better, you can do biology.
Jeez, that's terrible. What is happening here? Hold on. Can I have my? There we go. Yeah, I'll spend a point on that. I can do better. 27.
Okay. So looking at Tenfold's vitals, he's clearly in pain. There's some elevated heart rate and neurological signs of distress, but nothing too serious yet.
We'll see.
It's like
He would beg to differ.
kind of like being tasered, but at a low voltage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he just kind of says, is there a way to see if it's disrupting the signal?
I mean, I would assume that there is, but I'm not actually a scientist.
Right.
So, so I don't know the answer to that question.
That was Professor C saying that, like, I'm not a scientist.
I'm just an octopus.
You're not a scientist? I knew you were a robot.
Octopus. Your world confuses and okay. Yes, you can definitely tell that it is definitely causing a feedback loop to the source.
Okay.
So
and do I have an estimate of, is this a temporary thing? Does it only work as long as the device is active?
You're not sure. Your guess is that if this goes on long enough, it should disrupt whatever device or technology would be sending the signal.
Okay.
Because it is causing a feedback loop, but
right.
I mean, at the moment, like I said, Tenfold's hurting, but he's not injured.
Okay. I will briefly explain that yes, it seems to be working, and that if we can keep this active long enough, it should, at the very least, damage the device that is putting out the signal. So,
okay.
As long as you can endure it, I'd like to keep doing this.
keep going.
Aaron, can I do something crazy?
Sure.
I'd like to spend a hero point to get untapped potential again. The advantage.
Okay.
And I would like to use my extraordinary effort to increase my senses by 7 again. Or, sorry, by 6 again, like I did.
Okay.
And I want to try and see if I can perceive a similar device that's activating, maybe nanites somewhere that are somewhere nearby that are causing the feedback loop, or try to, I don't know, read the magnetic polarity of the Earth to get a sense of what's doing this.
I applaud the idea.
And if it helps, I can do 1 billion times more than regular human perception now instead of 1 million.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what would be the appropriate check because it is shielded.
I do have penetrate concealment if that helps with shielding.
It helps.
Now that my device has reversed the polarity, perhaps.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this. I will allow you to attempt it. It will be an opposed check between your perception and their technology.
Oh boy. Here I go. That's not bad. 27.
That's not bad.
That's right around average for me. And I do have to go exhausted to make this happen.
Oh! That is a natural 1 on my part.
Oh no. Well, it does make sense because they're kind of busy right now.
They are. So a couple of things are going to happen.
I don't like the way that sounds.
No.
The first thing that is going to happen is that Tenfold lets out a scream of pain, scrunches his eyes closed from the pain, and then seems to calm. You notice a change in his posture and demeanor, and when he opens his eyes, they are silver.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
The
And then
second his posture changed, my grip will tighten from holding him up to holding him.
Not a problem. The second thing that will happen is I won't even ask for a insight check. You can tell that whoever is behind those eyes is looking at you with anger.
Uh-huh.
Ethan, you are aware that the source of the signal is coming from within Emerald City, near Yellow Brick Road.
That's a lot closer than 1 billion times human perception.
But is behind a good deal of security, including several walls that are lined in lead and multiple layers of concrete.
Hey, Ethan, isn't your stepmom near Elbic Road right now? Oh, wait, I don't know that actually, though.
No.
I don't know.
You have no idea where Riley is right now.
I might.
And Tenfold then hisses and says, I am the commander. Are you going to stop whatever it is you're doing? Or do you want this stormer to die first?
Wish we had a telepath in the group.
I'm just gonna keep monitoring his vitals because I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
Does the voice sound like Tenfold?
I mean, it's clearly his vocal cords.
Okay.
But the cadence of speech is different.
Does it sound like a girl?
I mean, again, his vocal cords, but yeah, you do kind of get the a more feminine sense of the voice.
Have his, when all of this is happening, was there a change in his vital signs?
No, although the stress is clearly building.
Okay.
Seth, I assume you're recording this?
Oh yeah, I've got all of the instruments, everything's happening. It's fine.
Yeah, his pulse is definitely creeping up pretty high. Blood pressure is rising. They're not into danger levels yet, but if they continue this direction, they will be.
Seth will keep an eye on them closely, but he's just going to let it run until it's turn it off or he actually might die.
Ethan, is there anything you can do?
I mean, Max is just going to be like, is no one going to talk to this commander?
Ethan's nose is bleeding and his head is pounding. Somebody else has to talk to it.
I guess that's me then.
Keone says, What,
What do you want?
What do I want? Isn't it obvious? I want power. I want respect. And I intend to do it with an army of stormers at my command.
That's not respect, that's fear.
You say potato.
Those are completely different words and emotions. Even an octopus knows that.
Set Tenfold free.
And why would I do that?
I'm not talking to you. Turn the machine off, right? Unless there's any information we can get from the commander.
Well, I do have one question. Why not come up with something original? Why pass yourself off if you want all this power as a 2-bit knockoff?
The name wasn't being used. And I will be commanding an army. It's not inappropriate.
So just unoriginality. Got it. What are you going to do when that giant metal spaceship comes after you? He didn't seem too happy that you were messing with the nanites.
If my genius is such that I was able to discover the control code in the nanites and overwrite it. I'm sure it is only a matter of time before I'll be able to turn that thing's technology against it.
Perhaps you should have chosen the name Icarus, and I will disconnect.
You'll turn the machine off?
Yep.
Okay. Tenfold stops screaming in pain, but his eyes are still silver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're not willing to kill him. Interesting.
We don't want to kill anybody.
I will watch his vitals when they stabilize to something closer to normal. I'm going to turn it back on because I need to see what happens.
What I find interesting is that megalomaniac who wants to control the world hides behind someone else's identity.
You're trying to insult me.
I'm just trying to understand you. It's not my fault you don't add up.
What doesn't add up? That I would take an army of existing superpowered beings and use it to control the world? Again, I didn't put the control code there, but once I realized it existed, I'd be a fool not to take advantage of it.
Interesting. You're not worried about whoever put the control code there finding out and coming to put a stop to you?
No. I was intelligent enough to find their code and override it. I'm sure I'll be able to do the same to their ship. I'd love to get my hands on it, actually.
Oh, that's cute. You think you controlled his actual code and not just the bastardization of it. Well, I mean, we can add overconfidence to your list. But I'm still curious about why you're so set on hiding who you are in every way, shape, or form. I'm not talking, you're going to wear a mask, you're a supervillain. Yeah, we get it. But again, just you're copying his name, you're copying his suit, you're copying his MO. I mean, Commander, copycats.
Wait, what? That's Max. The Commander never mind controlled anyone or took an army.
He used the nanites to get powers. It's the basis of his powers.
I mean, of course, that's what I've heard about the Commander.
Same source, same look, same name. Honestly, for a little while there, we thought you might have just been a clone or extra dimensional female copy of him. But that would have been far too original, apparently. So yeah, I'm just trying to wonder. I just want to know what makes you tick before we defeat you. Curiosity.
I really do find it funny that you're trying to get me angry. I don't care what you think about me.
How's Tenfold doing?
He's recovering pretty quickly.
Okay.
Again, if you think I'm trying to anger you, you've seriously miscalculated who I am.
No, I know exactly who you are. You're a juvenile delinquent who has parent issues, who looks up to a now retired superhero.
Okay, so you can watch the news. Am I supposed to be impressed by that?
No. But I know exactly who you are.
So does half the city.
Well, if you have nothing interesting to say, I guess I can leave this Stormer to you. He's not that important. I have other servants I can use. But by all means, turn your machine back on and
sure. You have plenty of servants until we turn off the communication link. What are you going to do when all of a sudden those nanites don't work anymore?
I guess we'll find out.
Okay. You suck at playing coy.
Tenfold dies, turn back to normal.
Or in conversation, anyway.
I thought you said Tenfold dies.
That's what I thought he said too.
You just casually Tenfold dies. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Good job, Portal.
I mean, I was honest. She doesn't make sense. She's a megalomaniac who wants no credit whatsoever.
Yet.
Yet.
Um,
When the connection drops, I will drop to my knees exhausted.
Okay.
And say, I know where she is. Let's go kick her ass.
Give me a location.
I will give a location.
Okay. I am.
and wait.
Is that location within 2 miles?
So Seth's gonna be like, hold your horses, children. This is not someone we need to go off impulsively, half-cocked after. I know that you want to make up for whatever. You feel bad. That's fine. This is not the way.
She's nobody. She's full of nanites that we already know I can control. I'm just going to yank the nanites out of her and leave her in a bloody mess on the floor.
Well, that's kind of dark. But why is it a bad time to go after her when she is under the impression that we can't find her?
Because we don't know that she's under that impression. Given the data that I collected during that whole thing, do I have any reason to believe that turning the machine on a second time with the same conductor would pose any additional risk to Tenfold?
So you're sure that if you left the machine on long enough, focused through any one person, they would probably die eventually.
Right.
You don't know for sure if using a different stormer would make it possible to damage the machine without, posing as much of a risk to, any one subject. I mean, the fact that the feedback exists means that it is doing some damage. You don't know how much or how quickly.
Okay. What about spreading out the... Basically, I'd like to put the circuit in parallel with
right.
more than one. Do I think that would reduce the risk to each individual?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think that could work?
So I will take while everyone else is doing their thing, I'm going to have a brief conversation with Tenfold to ask if he's willing to try again.
I mean, he does know what the conversation was, but is like, of course.
I mean, I will fill him in on the risks and whatnot.
Portal's thing is asking the GM if the location is within 2 miles.
Yeah, I mean, just barely, but yeah.
Okay. So we can hit it as soon as Dad decides he's ready.
And as long as Tenfold is willing to try again, Seth will take a few moments to include himself in the circuit.
Okay.
And
Do any of us have the ability to notice that?
I mean,
Is this
I
something obvious that Professor Seth does, or is it something that would take technical expertise?
I have to hook myself up to the machine, you would notice.
Professor C, what are you doing?
We're going to try again
Okay, that I get. Why are you hooking yourself up?
because I am a stormer, at least in part.
How? You came in after the storm. I saw you.
Yes, I got some leftover nanites.
Like, you found them and injected yourself with them?
No, during the initial storm, I came into contact with someone's active nanites.
You're
Oh.
saying the octopus has superpowers?
That is what I'm saying, yes.
I mean, either the octopus had superpowers. I,
It, this is a conversation for another day. And then I will show Max which buttons to push because, I figure he's smart enough to figure out the rest.
Yes.
Professor, what information are you hoping to gain from this test?
I am not hoping to gain information. I am hoping to do more damage to her systems. I am hoping to relieve her of the ability to control people who do not want to be controlled. And then he will look to Max and say, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So as the heroes consider attempting an assault, and Max is about to start the machine to possibly fry Tenfold and Professor Cephalopod.
Before then, real quick though,
Calamari, everybody.
insight check on Ethan.
Okay.
Not great. It's a 12, but really what I want to know is how antsy in his pantsies does Ethan look?
The antsiest, actually.
Yes, he's feeling very homicidal right now.
So yeah, Portal's got a plan.
All right. Well, then we'll deal with that plan after the break.
We'll see everybody in just a couple minutes.